Hey, Dr. Mike here. If you take gummy supplements, this podcast is for you. There's a new technology taking over. So stick around to learn more about it with our guest, Dr. Andrew Myers.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
All right, welcome to Live Foreverish. So, Dr. Crystal, how many gummies do you take?
One. But
Really?
my kids take lots of gummies. That's all
Yeah.
they will take. They haven't figured out how to swallow pills yet. So
Yeah.
we have a house full of gummies, and that's why I'm excited about this show.
Yeah, our producer, who is a grown man, can't swallow pills either. So Robson takes gummies as well. Yeah, Robson, yes, you do. Okay, so yeah, what a fascinating topic today. The gummy market is exploding. I want to talk a little bit just about the market in general, but then we have a very specific way or a new technology, right, of making what they call gummy bites with omega-3. So really excited. Our guest today is Dr. Andrew Myers. He's a recognized authority on natural medicine. Dr. Myers is viewed as one of the world's top experts in the formulation of dietary supplements and their scientific substantiation. Dr. Myers has formulated complete nutritional lines for global companies and developed many successful products. Dr. Myers, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, what do you think about? I want to before we dive into this new technology and stuff. I just kind of want to get your take a little bit on the gummy market in general. Like, how I know it's growing leaps and bounds, right? I mean, it's probably next to the capsule or tablet. It's like next, right? I think it's one of the most popular ways to take supplements. But is the gummy industry really good? Are these really healthy, or what? Just give me your take on it?
Well, I'm going to be very direct right from the start. As a naturopathic physician, I do not believe in gummies. I think gummies are a terrible way to deliver nutrition. They're full of sugar. They were designed and developed to be confectionery products, and it is the wrong direction to be taking folks down a path that includes a high sugar, low payload nutrient delivery system. And so I'm not a fan. But that doesn't mean that gummies aren't just taking over the marketplace. In fact, there are statistics that show that almost half of consumers in the marketplace experience some degree of pill fatigue, meaning they're taking too many capsules or tablets, and they're looking for alternative delivery systems. And gummies have filled that void to the point where their growth has been remarkable over the last several years. And they are now one of the top selling delivery formats for nutritional supplements. I would like to be the guy that, or amongst the people that helps to educate the consumer out there to the fact that gummies are not your friend, and that taking in sugar along with your nutrition is really not a beneficial way to go.
Yeah, no, I think
I agree, Dr. Meyer. I did a presentation about 2 months ago, and in my presentation, I kind of talked about gummies, and it gave me an opportunity to kind of calculate the amount of sugar per serving. And I said, okay, if you're taking a vitamin D, if you are taking a multivitamin, if you're taking and I'm thinking about kids, right? You're taking a multivitamin, a vitamin D, a probiotic. I just kind of listed out like maybe 4 supplements as a kid. And if each of those contain 3, 4, up to 5 grams of sugar, it equated to about 4 teaspoons of sugar just in your gummy, your vitamins. And so I do agree that that most people think they're trying to do something healthy. They think that it's the right thing to do to give their kids or to take themselves. And oftentimes it's just tons of sugar. So I'm on Dr. Meyer's side.
Yeah,
Dr. Mike.
I am too. I think we all agree, they may help with compliance, but they help with compliance because they're candy at the end of the day, many of these products. So now it's interesting. We're doing this whole show kind of on a gummy technology, and we just knocked down gummies. So there must be something different that we're here to talk about, and I know Dr. Myers is excited to teach us a little bit. So tell us a little bit about um, how you approach formulating with gummies and some of the unique and innovative ways you've come up with in those kind of formulations.
So I think at this point, the best way to go is to leave the term gummy behind. So the technology that we've introduced and brought to Life Extension that is in your omega-3 fish oil gummy bites is a chewable technology. And what we're really talking about is chewable technology. And where this technology differs from conventional gummies is really in a number of different ways. Let's start with the fact that this technology that is now in one of your products, an omega-3 product with EPA and DHA, it was designed specifically to deliver nutrition. Gummies, as a confectionery, were never designed to deliver nutrition. They were designed to deliver sugar and create a sensation of pleasure when you eat this candy-based substance. And so when you talk about our product, you're really talking about a specific delivery system for nutrition, and the technology was designed and tuned around that, as opposed to a gummy product where the nutrition is bolted on, an added feature at the end of a process that was never designed to deliver nutrition. The other thing about the chewable technology that Life Extension has just launched is that it provides clinically relevant dosing. And what I mean by that is that nutrients need to be delivered at a certain level to provide the benefits or optimize the benefits in terms of the health promoting effects that they have. Most gummy products, and again, I'm differentiating between our chewable, your chewable, and a gummy products have low dosage platforms because it's very difficult to get nutrition into the gummy itself. A lot of it is exposed to high heat during manufacture, which means that it oxidizes and it loses its potency. And that's another key point about your technology. It's manufactured at low temperatures that maintains the integrity of the nutrients. The shelf life is extended. And best of all, your gummy bites are sugar-free, which is a critical element for me because of the way I feel about sugar as an anti-nutrient.
Wow. I mean, I think we have to pause here, Dr. Mike, and let our listeners take this in
Yeah.
to understand that what's really the foundation of anyone who's taking a nutritional supplement. It should be nutrition first. And the fact that most, I guess, gummies are designed, it's like, let's figure out the taste profile first and then sprinkle in a little bit of nutrients secondary to, it has to taste good. So at all costs, even if you have, minuscule amounts of active ingredients, then that just doesn't matter. So I appreciate the work that you've done in this field to bring to us nutrition first. As a clinical nutritionist, I think that matters, and it matters to people. Now, when we look at this new technology, you mentioned providing potent doses, and I read somewhere there's also this concept of mirroring nature with how the nutrients are dispersed. Can you tell us a little bit more about that aspect of the technology?
Absolutely. So one of the things about supplementation is that it is different in terms of the way that we create the delivery system for vitamin C or vitamin D or vitamin E, or in this case, omega-3 fatty acids like EPA and DHA. In nature, the nutrients are embedded within a matrix of different compounds that make up the food that we eat. So when we look at, say, salmon flesh, and we're going to have a beautiful fillet of salmon for dinner, and we know that the omega-3 fatty acids are found within the actual meat or flesh of the salmon itself. And they're embedded in that fleshy tissue, providing their benefits to the fish that we then reap the benefits of when we consume that nice fillet. So when we created this technology, what we did is we took our cues from nature and we created basically a protein matrix that compartmentalizes fat soluble and water soluble nutrients into one platform. And we actually used a technique called mechanical emulsification to put these components together in a way that makes them more bioavailable for the digestive system and enhances their absorption in the way that nature does with its own nutrient delivery system through food. So
Yeah.
we've basically taken our cue from nature and we've created a platform that is very similar to eating food. Instead of, even tablets, two-piece hard gels, and soft gels aren't really mimicking nature. And so that was one of
Oh,
the key objectives that
love
we
it. Yeah.
had when we developed this delivery system.
Right. It makes sense, right? I mean, nature, it knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
It knows how to get the nutrients we need into our system, right? So why not copy nature a little more often in what we're doing? And that's kind of just to dumb it down for a lot of us who are not formulators like you, Andrew. It's the way your body is ready to absorb these things. And like you eat the fillet, you take this gummy bite, you're able to absorb those really good omega fats. And it makes sense to me. I know when Dr. Crystal heard about this, she's the one who called me and said, we got to get you on this podcast to talk about this. She got really, really excited. So let me back up a little bit though. So with this gummy bite, or what you would rather call like a chewable,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so
Chewable technology, right?
chewable
Yeah.
technology. Okay. So the delivery system sounds great. Bioavailability is there. All that's great. But what about the dosing? Are you able? Are we providing people who supplement with this high enough levels of omega threes, or do you find you have to kind of decrease those to make them all fit into this little bite?
Oh, no, absolutely. So, the power of the chewable technology in your gummy bite is that you don't have to sacrifice on dosage. And so, you know, um, when we look at fish oil, when we look at omega-3 intake, you need between, let's say, 600 and 800, excuse me, milligrams of fish oil as a starting point for your initial dosing. And many people go beyond that. One of your gummy bites provides that level of omega-3 in the product every time you take it. And so if you want to scale up the dosage and go more into the range of 1,000 to 1,400, it's 2 chewables a day. And that's really very similar to, and I would say almost equal to, a standard soft gel product that you would find in the marketplace. And that's one of the keys, is that, as Dr. Crystal said, gummy technology is so poorly designed from a nutritional delivery perspective that you oftentimes have to take multiple times the suggested dosage. And most gummies in the omega-3 space specifically are at least 2 gummies to deliver a very low level, let's say 50 milligrams of omega-3, which means that to match what you have in your product, you might have to take 10 servings of gummies. Now, if you extend that into the sugar content, like Dr. Crystal said, you can have 20, 30 grams of sugar. Now, that's more than most people should be taking in a day, even though most Americans overconsume sugar. That one dosage, just trying to get your omega-3 from a gummy, fills up your need for sugar for a whole day. And that's just not right. So your product is really elegant in that it delivers EPA and DHA in a great tasting product with no sugar, and we get that enhanced bioavailability that comes from the emulsification technology that's patented and built in.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I've had this gummy bite. I know Dr. Crystal did. We did a whole Facebook Live on this once, Andrew, and um, I can tell you that it's easy to take. It tastes fine, and I can say that with a lot of confidence because we kept messing up the show, and I probably had to. I don't know how many I ended up eating. I definitely got my dose of omegas for probably a couple days. Let's just say,
Yeah.
and it was great. And one of the things for me that I've noticed, I had been taking regular soft gels of omegas for years, and I kind of had to stop taking those and switch to like an enteric-coated type because
Yeah.
I was starting to get a little burpy, little reflux with it.
Yeah.
I noticed after eating many of these things for that shot, it was perfectly fine. Didn't bother me at all. So how is that also involved here? So you're giving good availability, giving good dose, and yet you're also cutting down on some of the reasons people don't take fish oil.
Right. So the number one reason why consumers discontinue their fish oil supplements is because of fishy burps and aftertaste. There's no really, happy way to describe a fishy burp. That's an
it's
uncomfortable
not,
and yucky sensation. And
it's
it
not
just so
good.
happens that the bioavailability and the reflux protection go hand in hand. So
Mm.
when we manufacture your product, when your gummy bites are created, we basically create an emulsification, which is a combination where fat soluble and water soluble nutrients or components come together and they're bound in a solution. So when you chew one of your omega 3 fish oil gummy bites, that emulsification remains intact and billions of tiny
Wow.
droplets pass through your stomach. Billions of tiny droplets of fish oil, I should say,
Hmm.
pass through your stomach and into your intestine, into your small intestine, where they get exposed to the surface area, leading to enhanced absorption. But the power of this emulsification technology is that it also protects from exposure of a large quantity of fish oil to the gastric
Ah.
juices,
Yeah.
which is kind of a phased separation, which is where fishy burps and aftertaste comes from. Now, Dr. Crystal, you mentioned early in the discussion that a lot of kids are using gummies. Well, it turns out that more adults use gummies now than kids. And so
Ah.
as we age, we all know as nutritionists and physicians that our digestive capabilities decrease over time. And so the technology that you have also helps to address and adjust for limitations in digestion that occurs as we age. So in many cases, and Dr. Mike, not trying to focus on the fact that you're aging, but maybe your digestive potency has decreased a
Crystal.
little bit.
Crystal's going to have fun with that. Ugh.
Oh, I know.
Oh yes.
Your digestive
Well,
potency has
we all
decreased a
are
little bit.
aging.
Yes, we are. But omega
I'm
3s can
aging
help with that.
backwards.
Yeah,
Omega
for
3s can
sure.
offset that aging. And
Yeah.
so we wanted to
Very
deliver a
true.
product that actually, is easy for everyone to absorb, reduces those fishy burps and aftertaste, and delivers on the promise of making sure that EPA and DHA, those critical essential fatty acids, are actually measurable and elevated in terms of serum levels.
Yeah.
And that's what our product does.
Since I'm the old guy here, I'll tell you, with the fishy burps, you end up in a vicious cycle, and I'll describe what happens. Right, you get a fishy burp, and if it's a good one, you kind of gag, and then when you gag, it causes you to have another fishy burp, which causes you to gag a little bit. So you get in this horrible little cycle with it. Enterracotta has helped a little bit, but not completely, right? It helps a little. So for me personally, I think these chewable bites, maybe that's what we'll start calling them, chewable bites, is the
Hmm.
way to go because so far I've been using them and nothing. I feel great.
Yeah, that's great news. And the interesting thing about enteric technology, and coating of soft gels is that although they allow the soft gel to pass through the stomach itself and release the payload of omega-3 in the small intestine, they don't do anything in terms of absorption or bioavailability. And again, that's where when we circle back to the embedded technology in your gummy bites, they just are head and shoulders above any other delivery format for omega-3 specifically, because they increase surface area exposure within the small intestine, meaning you get that high level of absorption, 43% more than a standard soft gel, as shown by our clinical research. And you get the no reflux, great taste, easy to take. It's actually kind of a fun way to make omega-3 a part of your daily supplement regimen. And I'm all for more fun.
Yeah, that sounds great. You're listening to Dr. Andrew Myers. He is a expert formulator who's worked for many global companies producing products and formulating products. Dr. Myers, Dr. Crystal, did you have one more question? Did you want to ask, or you want me to?
Well, I just wanted to comment, it is no sugar, right? Sugar free, but it does not contain any of the artificial sweeteners, and it tastes really good. So I just wanted to just comment on that. That's why Dr. Mike and I was able to eat as many as we did when we were shooting our live show.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I'm glad you brought it up, Dr. Crystal. This is all natural, nothing artificial, manufactured to the highest quality standards, and delivering that incredible benefit, those wonderful health promoting effects of omega-3, EPA, and DHA.
Yeah. So Andrew, just kind of summarizing everything, and I know we talked about a lot there, so that's kind of tough. But if you what would be your elevator pitch for people to consider the chewable technology as a way of getting their omega-3s every day to the listening audience?
I would say this. Omega-3s are absolutely critical to human health. In fact, they're one of the leading deficiencies that we see not just in the United States, but on a global basis. And so everyone needs to be taking omega-3 fish oil on a daily basis. Why not make it a fun process with a great tasting chewable that's sugar-free, that enhances absorption of the key fatty acids, EPA and DHA, and does so in a way that protects you from fishy burps and fishy aftertaste. Perfect. That's what I would say.
And that's perfect, because we're just now getting off the elevator. So that was a good pitch. Is there a website that if somebody wants to learn a little bit more about the technology that we can send them to?
Yes, actually, it's at www.concordix.com, and I'll spell that CONCORDIX.com, concordix.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today. You're listening to Live Foreverish. Don't forget, you can go to liveforeverish.com, where we have a lot of other downloads for you, waiting for you there. Again, I think we're close to 400 episodes now. It's hard to believe. So there's a lot to learn. When you do, please like and share and comment. And don't forget, at liveforeverish.com, it's the 1-2 punch. Crystal, give us the 1-2 punch. She's getting a little bit better. Number one, you give your email. Number two, you can subscribe to your favorite aggregate right there. That's liveforeverish.com. I'm Dr. Mike. Thanks for listening.